Hey, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of the Forehead of Security podcast. I'm your host, Sean Siegel, at SpiderJewelsRD on Twitter. These are my co-hosts.
Ari, Hyperchick Cosplay on Instagram, and Fab the Gerbil. The Gerbil on Facebook.
And I'm Kenzie, no social media.
All right, we're getting right into the news of the week. Daisy Ridley addressed the Spider-Woman rumors after her casting while doing press for Chaos Walking, which just got released onto home video. She says that she very much wants to play Spider-Woman Jessica Drew in the MCU, and that she has been approached about it, that nothing is set or final, but I think that we're going to get that, whether it's in the MCU or in Sony's Venomverse or whatever they're calling it now. What do you guys think about that?
I don't. I mean, I like the idea.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the actor, so.
Oh, it's Daisy Ridley from Star Wars. Rey.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which character did she play as?
Rey in Star Wars.
Rey. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I have some idea.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
know what this
I heard
person
the
looks
name
like.
before, but I just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
They want her in the
Spider-Woman.
universe. But
I think she could be good at it.
but what
Isn't she supposed to have like blonde hair?
No, that's Gwen Stacy. That's Spider-Gwen.
yeah.
I'm smart.
But this is supposed to Spider-Woman.
Jessica Drew, who is a comics character who was also in the Ultimate Spider-Man TV show, the animated one on Disney XD, which was how I got my first introduction to her. She's one of my favorite characters in the comics. She's had some very good runs. I don't love Daisy Ridley for it, but I think she could. I think it's going to be very hit or miss. But I said the exact same thing, about Kurt Russell as Ego the Living Planet a couple years ago. I was very against that casting, and then it happened, and it was perfect. So I've been wrong before. Next up, Taika Waititi, director of Thor: Love and Thunder and the other Thor movies, who also plays Korg, is playing Ratcatcher 1 in the Suicide Squad. He's going to be Ratcatcher 2's dad. Presumably only in flashbacks. Seems like he's dead and will only be in it a little bit. He'll be a very minor character, but Taika Waititi in anything is always good. Always a positive. Miracle Workers, the TV show that everyone forgot existed but should absolutely go watch, is getting a season 3 based on the Oregon Trail. And finally, we will get to see Steve Buscemi be Daniel Radcliffe's dad, a pairing that should have happened a long time ago.
Yes.
And that will be based on the Oregon Trail. Seems fun. And the last bit of news.
I was going to watch that.
It's so good. I love the first 2 seasons. I'm so excited for season 3.
I need to watch it then.
Mm-hmm. The last bit of news is Knives Out. The Knives Out 2 and 3 were bought by Netflix.
Oh no.
They're not going to be very good. Daniel Craig will return and Rian Johnson will still be writing and directing.
Oh, well, that's at least good.
If Netflix
That's a plus.
doesn't
I mean, Netflix picked up Lucifer and it got even better. It stopped being
so
the
rare.
same thing.
Like everything else they've picked up has just gotten so much worse. So I'm a little worried.
True.
There. But yeah, maybe with Lucifer, they just let them do their thing and it was good.
Yeah, they did. They just were like, okay, we're just bringing you on and keep writing, do your stuff. Because it was originally a comic.
If they do that for Knives Out, it'll still be good. Although I will still hope they put it in theaters like they did for that 4-hour Martin Scorsese movie that no one watched. I hope they do that still so that we can see it on the big screen. So that brings us into the spoiler warnings. Full spoilers ahead for Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 3, Godzilla vs. Kong. Chaos Walking, I watched, so I can do a little review of that. It was not very good. Spoiler alert. Yeah. So Falcon and Winter Soldier. What did we think of episode 3?
I loved Zemo. I know I'm not supposed to like the bad guys, but man, this one, he gave pimp vibes and I loved it. I ate it up and I was like, I'm on his side now. He reminds me a lot of Loki, just the destruction, like, oh, I'll totally never do that again. Yep, I'm just gonna blow that up and then promise not to do it again. It's just, I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm such a huge Zemo fan. Civil War is my second favorite MCU movie behind Winter Soldier. So seeing those three characters just fucking around with each other is so much fun. I love Zemo. I love Bucky. I love Sam. That scene with the three of them on the plane with Zemo's Alfred, I can't remember his name, but he was basically Alfred, was so much fun where they were talking about Trouble Man. That was fantastic.
I was
Sharon
worried
Carter,
that I was worried they wouldn't have the mask. Like,
yeah,
because in the comics, I was worried that, but then I saw it and I was like, oh, thank God.
that was so cool when he put it on. That whole scene with Sharon fighting everyone was so cool. I'm glad to see that she's mean now. She's more fun like this. I didn't really have any negatives for this episode, just like with episode 2. I really loved it. I thought it was a little bit slower. But I loved the Madripoor connections. I loved seeing the Princess Bar, which is co-owned by Wolverine. That was such a cool reference for them to have thrown in, which means that I'm already back on the, is Wolverine going to be in it hype train, even though I learned my lesson with WandaVision, with seeing Mephisto everywhere. But maybe. AO showed up at the end. That was awesome. AO, I don't know how you pronounce it, but that was awesome. She is the person who says my second favorite line in the entire MCU, where she walks up to Natasha and says, "Move or you will be moved" in Civil War. That's like one of my favorite lines in the whole thing. So I loved that. Yeah, I didn't really have any negatives. So who do we think the power broker is? I'm getting vibes that it's someone we know because they're being weird about it.
I've got a blank. I wouldn't even. I feel like it's a new character, but maybe not.
Oh, I thought that it was probably someone. In the comics, it's a character that hasn't been introduced, and I'm totally blanking on his name. But it's a character we haven't seen in the MCU yet. But I just feel like Marvel, if they're dancing around something and then they do it, they don't dance around it and then have it not be anything. And it feels like they have like the power broker is always watching. I don't know him right by name. I've just heard his reputation. That seems like a setup. I'm hoping it's Sharon personally, because she's obviously got something going on. She's got a driver and she's rich, which doesn't quite line up.
That would make sense.
But I hope it's Sharon, because I love Sharon. Kenzie, what do you think of the episode?
Honestly, I'm not going to be able to give a good rating of this, but I enjoyed it. It kept me awake. So I guess that's a huge plus. So
okay, well, that's fair.
mean,
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. There wasn't anything wrong with it, but it just wasn't quite perfect either. It wasn't like episode 2 where it was every second was a hit. There also wasn't enough Walker. Okay, other stuff from the week. Godzilla versus Kong, and we have our special guest for Godzilla versus Kong today. If you want to introduce yourself a little bit to our 8 listeners.
Our 8 listeners.
That'd be me, I guess, right? I don't know.
Say hello.
Hi, I'm Fabricio, the Gerbil, on Facebook. And I am pretty much a big fan of the giant Warner Brothers Monsterverse thus far. Yes,
And all your other stack over there.
All sorts of things here.
I love Godzilla and I love Kong and I love all the old movies, but I have not been impressed with the Monsterverse up until now. But I liked this one.
As for the Monsterverse, the whole thing about it is that when this first started off in 2014 with the remake of Godzilla, they were pretty much hyping it up to this one movie. Yeah, and I knew this from the very beginning because they mentioned it. I think it was 2011. I don't know. They were mentioning they were trying to get at least the story on foot, but they haven't been able to start shooting until probably somewhere in 2012 or 2013, somewhere around there. And then that's when they finally got it and started made the first Godzilla. And I was pretty hyped when I first saw the trailer of that first Godzilla.
Screaming in your room
Sorry.
of happiness.
Yes.
Yeah, that first
Wait.
Godzilla trailer in 2014 was something.
Yeah.
That was a great trailer. That was
Yeah,
one of the
but-
all-time best trailers, I think. They really made that movie look better than it was. Not that it was bad, but that trailer was perfect.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
trailer
Yeah.
was great. As for the sequel, which was Godzilla King of the Monsters, bringing a lot of Toho original monsters
Yeah,
like
that
Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. That was great.
Too much at
I
once.
mean, I like the first one a lot because I was like my introduction to actually liking. Because see, when it comes to the MonsterVerse, I'm still dumb about it because my first Godzilla was that 1999 one where it was just the giant iguana, which on its own would have been a good movie had they not named it Godzilla. But that was what I thought was Godzilla. And then Fab showing me this giant gorilla monster with fin tails and all that. And I'm going, what is this? And why are you so excited about it? That's not Godzilla. Like this giant iguana is Godzilla. And then he busts out his whole collection of all the old black and white movies going, no, this is Godzilla. And I'm just going,
Pretty much what I
okay.
did is try to teach her like the origin. What was Godzilla to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so confused. But the first movie was really good in my opinion because I was used to seeing those guys in suits fighting. And then the second one was kind of a letdown. It was rushed for me, way too rushed. They killed off, well, I know that Serizawa was supposed to die, but I didn't like the girl dying. But it's just, it was too rushed. And then this one, even though it had a lot of budget cuts, I was actually really happy with it. Like I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I learned about budget cuts like last year, and I knew what was gonna happen the moment they mentioned that. It wasn't gonna be as big as King of the Monsters, but so I didn't go into watching this movie like expecting too much from them, but the fact that with that, the way it came out, I think they did a really good job with it. I was very happy with it. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah. So I saw Godzilla in 2014 with my dad, and we both loved it. I have only watched it one time since because, like we've talked about extensively on this, I'm a really big MCU Marvel person, and just seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen in a relationship, I just don't like it because they're siblings in the MCU. So it's sort of awkward to watch in the movie. But in terms of the monsters and the fighting, I was very impressed with the style. I thought their Godzilla design was probably the best ever, except for maybe the animated ones with the Godzilla vs. King Kong animated movie. That might be up there. But I think that the 2014 movie really nailed that. And they nailed the fighting, but there was just a lot of focus on the humans where I really just didn't care. And then Kong Skull Island came out. I think that was one of the best movies I've ever watched. I loved Kong Skull Island. I love Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson are both great. Samuel L. Jackson. What's his name? The dude from Step Brothers, John C. Reilly. I thought they were great in it. I thought that the whole not quite showing Kong until the very end as like this huge fight. I love that whole like sort of tension that was there the whole movie. And then the Monarch tie-in at the end was cool. I just despised King of the Monsters. It was one of the few movies where I left the theater when I was watching it and just watched it a couple months later.
At what part did you leave?
Right before the big fight. I was just so unbelievably bored and I had other stuff I wanted to do. But I watched it later on video on demand and I just hate it. I can't sit through it. It's somehow both.
You're getting triggered, I can see.
It's both rushed and too long.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Like if the fights were just the fights, like the fights in that movie, the final one with the dude with 3 heads is great.
Ghidorah. King
that-
Ghidorah.
You're getting triggered.
Yeah, that fight is fantastic. I think the rest of the movie is dull, so I didn't have any high hopes for Godzilla vs. Kong. But I made some popcorn. I got a big thing of apple juice, and I sat and watched it. I couldn't get to go to a movie theater because of COVID, but I watched it on a big screen here.
Why apple juice?
Why not apple juice?
It's like the whole thing that's bothering me. Apple juice. Okay, sorry.
Apple juice
Yeah,
is
we went to a
fantastic.
theater.
We
We
have a
went
whole
to the
episode
theaters to watch
debating
it on
Yeah.
big screen.
Yeah,
But
we
I
watched. We went
watched
to
it-
the theaters where they had buttons where you could press the button and people bring food. It's
That's great.
pretty sweet.
Oh, nice,
God.
nice.
But Godzilla vs Kong, I honestly loved it. I wrote down a couple specific things to mention that I'll pull up right now.
Alright.
I thought it was just a fantastic movie overall. It wasn't perfect, but it was so much fun to watch, which was the complaints that I had with the other ones, that they were, they were good, but they weren't very fun. But so my thoughts on the human side was this was the first time I cared about the human characters. I love Millie Bobby Brown. I love
Hey.
I can't think of his first name. He played Fire Fist in Deadpool 2. I love him. He was
Yeah.
hilarious. Their whole story was so much fun watching them. I loved that. I thought that was one of the best.
Can't remember the one guy's name. The guy that was with the kids.
The conspiracy guy.
Yeah,
the
that's
conspiracy
like
guy.
everything he was saying. I'm like, oh look, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, he was great. That whole thing was awesome. And then on the monster side, they finally figured out how to have these monsters fight and have the humans be a part of it, but not be too much of it. That fight scene in the water was so cool, where they're on the boat. I loved that. And then the fight in Tokyo was so cool.
Actually, that was Hong Kong.
Or Hong Kong.
They fought in Hong Kong, yeah.
I just assumed that
Wow,
since it was
fab.
Godzilla, it was Tokyo. I loved it though. I thought that scene was fantastic. They showed very weird close-ups of Kong's ass multiple times. I just thought
I
that
think
I
that
didn't
was
notice that,
that was
actually.
very fan service.
Actually, I didn't even notice those shots. I really didn't.
I noticed.
yeah, I noticed them. That scene where they were talking right while they were fighting, but no one could hear what they were saying. I was sitting there in my chair going, Martha.
Oh God.
Mm.
The CGI was perfect. That fight with the where he was shooting the lasers out of his mouth and then he caught it with the axe was super cool. The fight with Mechagodzilla was awesome. Everyone knew he was going to be in that movie, but they tried to keep it
yeah.
anyway. But it was cool how they revealed it. The storyline with Apex and Monarch sort of fighting each other was good. The little kid I thought was a weird introduction. I thought that would have been better if they had set it up in the previous movies, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
It was cute though.
Yeah. Yep. It was.
I did like that they're finally like in movies and stuff, they're bringing in people who use sign language, because not enough people. I've learned a little bit of it, and I was glad to see, like, in any type of media, I'm glad to see it introduced. So I'm glad that the little girl was there to have that, and it worked so well. It was a nice little cherry on top to me with Kong, signing. But I do think they should have shown her a little bit more, like, somehow in other movies.
Mhm. And the last thing that I wrote down to mention was I just have no idea what the Hollow Earth is. I haven't gotten that throughout any of the other movies. I've been watching it. They've been talking.
So
I've just had no idea what it is. So
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the place where like all the monsters are originally from?
It's pretty much the place where they would have hidden when the Earth was being terraformed differently, because
Okay.
since they live off of radiation, all the radiation went underground, which is this hollow Earth, is where all of them pretty much went underneath the Earth to hibernate until 1954 happened, where they released it.
Even though in the original films it was radiation that created them much later, like they weren't thousands of years old in the originals, but they added this to kind of have an origin.
Yeah, like some kind of origin story to all the monsters, like where were they this whole time? Where did they come from, kind of thing. That's the whole point of this Hollow Earth. Despite the Hollow Earth theory is actually a real thing in our world, in our universe.
A real theory.
A real theory. Okay,
A
sorry.
real theory. Sam.
Sorry. I can't explain it.
well, I sure hope that there is not a giant lizard monster that breathes fire is hibernating in the Earth's core.
Come
I
on.
hope so.
It would add a little bit of spice to life.
Yeah.
We need more spice.
Yeah, and an
Yes.
alien invasion. Let's just do it. Come on.
No.
It's zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse. Zombies, let's go.
Yes.
Giant
Can
monsters
I have the
wreaking
Walking
havoc
Dead,
in the entire
please?
world. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I personally think I would not do well in a zombie apocalypse.
No,
Okay.
you wouldn't.
So I've got my survival plan. I would just hide out in my room until I ran out of pasta, and then
I
just-
would do great.
Run out of
'Cause
noodles.
I'd have
yes.
an excuse to spear stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
Zombies, let's go.
But like my opinion on it was, so my first Godzilla monsterverse is Skull Island, and so this was a bit of more of a English, what is words, it was a nice little boost to get me interested, so I did like a whole bunch of research. And so the Mecha Godzilla background was too close to one of the Transformers background for me to like it, especially in like the Age of Extinction and Transformers, where I think they use Megatron's body to create a different Transformer, which is essentially what they did with Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, that was it was pretty good though. I mean, I really did like the sign language in it. We don't see that, like Ari said, ever. So
Oh, that brings me to the piece of news that I wanted to mention that I totally forgot.
oh,
The character Echo in the Hawkeye show, who is deaf and uses sign language, is getting her own TV show on Disney Plus. I
Oh,
wrote
that's
that down to mention.
more of a reason I need to get Disney Plus.
So yeah, that's a new.
I use a Friends.
Yeah, that's a new Disney Plus show that's going to give us both superheroes and sign language, and hopefully more of Jeremy Renner, because despite the fact that everyone hates him, I think he's doing great.
He's doing the best he can do.
Yeah. So final thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong ratings. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It was a good movie.
8
Yeah,
out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a
definitely.
9.5.
Ooh, that's high.
Just because Mecha
Oh, that's
Godzilla,
high.
it wasn't the points that lost it was it was a short film, shorter. The budget cuts, you could kind of notice, and Mecha Godzilla was a bit thin. Like, he was scary. I loved that he was actually terrifying to me. Like gave me the same Mummy vibes way back when I watched The Mummy. Like, it was scary, but he needed to be thicker to me.
What, the thickness of Kong that they kept showing wasn't enough?
Oh, God. The only issue I got about it, because I would rate it a 9. I would have done made it a 10, sorry. The only issue is that the showcase of Mecha Godzilla's weapons.
Right.
That
That was a
Mecha
little-
Godzilla is supposed to be this massive weapon that the humans created to fight off Godzilla and either
An
kill him.
arsenal.
It's supposed to be an arsenal.
We're busy. We're live.
He was supposed to be pretty much his entire body was supposed to be nothing but weapons showcasing, but the lack of the weapons is what kind of dropped it down for me, really. Because
Yeah, that's fair.
Understandable.
Just try to cut that part out a little bit where I yelled.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
will.
want to interrupt anything he said though, but just where I was like, we're live.
And
Yeah,
this.
gotta figure that out.
we're good.
So other new things from the week. Chaos Walking released on home video. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. I would assume not. Don't. It was one of my favorite books is the Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, and that's the basis for the Chaos Walking movie. I had such high hopes with Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, Nick Jonas, and Mads Mikkelsen as the cast. The writer of the book writing the movie. It was just awful. It was so boring.
But I've seen so many funny trailers.
All of the trailers were good. It's worth watching if you want to watch it to laugh at it. But it wasn't like a comedy.
Fair enough.
But by that I mean like you watch it and you're like, oh, this is awful.
Where did you watch it?
I just watched it on iTunes. I love this book enough that I was like, all right, here's $20 for a 2-day rental. And I
Oh,
watched it.
never mind.
It was just, once it's on streaming, eventually it's coming to HBO Max. Eventually. It's one of them. They make it. It's Legendary. Legendary was the studio that made it. It was just, or not Legendary, Lionsgate. It was just not fun. Like the book was fun. The book was like, oh, here's a world where girls can hear all the boys' thoughts, but the boys can't hear the girls' thoughts. And all the girls are dead, except now there's a new one. And it was just
Uh-oh.
lacking.
It cracked.
It wasn't
How?
there wasn't any of the fun chaos of, Tom Holland's character meeting a girl for the first time and then just being a complete and total teenage boy. Like they took all of the fun parts of it out, kept the weird story, kept the mystical alien race, and took out the fun twist. And it just wasn't that good of a movie, honestly. Sometimes movies are good, sometimes they're not. This just wasn't. It's probably I'll watch it again. I still have 14 hours on my rental, so I got to get the most out of that $20 because that is way too much to spend on a movie. But just wasn't that good. Batwoman put out a new episode last week. I'm not going to spoil it because I know you guys haven't watched it. It was without a doubt the scariest episode that the CW has ever done. They introduced Black Mask, who's the main bad guy this season, and I'm not going to say, but it was actually scary. I loved it.
I need to go ahead and get through that.
No, just
Yes.
don't watch it at night.
Yeah.
Oh, watch it at night. Got it. I like to
always
watch
watch
and
it.
listen to scary things while in the
Yes.
shower and alone.
Yeah, they put Ewan McGregor's character from Birds of Prey, the Black Mask, who's a great bad guy, and it looks like they're doing him right because he should be terrifying, but he was terrifying. I was very surprised that the Arrowverse went there.
I
But
mean,
give him a
it's
second.
kind of.
I don't know. You guys continue. I'm just making sure that there's no sounds.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of to be expected with Arrow.
Mhm.
From Arrow, there are some dark and
Oh, this
I wouldn't
was
say
darker than Arrow.
scary.
This was
Oh, really?
this was like cutting someone in half in graphic detail.
Oh. Mm. Okay.
Shouldn't have smiled while you said that.
Note to self: watch while on call with someone. Got it.
I loved it though. I was so happy that they're letting Black Mask be scary because they didn't really let Alice be that scary when she should have been. This was like some Joker level stuff. I
had high hopes for Alice to reach Joker psychotic.
Mhm.
She didn't.
Yeah, this episode did tell you where Kate Kane was. It was still just the ending sting, so you still barely know anything. Then they took a week off. They didn't air a new episode last night after ending on another cliffhanger, but because of Easter, they didn't do a new episode, not because they hate us, although I suspect it was a bit of both. So the next one comes out next week. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I love the show. I love what they're doing. The Flash also put out a new episode this week with Abracadabra, which brought David Dastmalchian back. Always lovely to see him do anything. He's Kurt in the Ant-Man movies. He's playing Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad. He is Abracadabra in the Flash. Just fantastic. He was so fun. It was actually a good episode. It was the first episode in like 3 seasons where I didn't just not like Iris. They sort of brought her back to being some version of herself from the earlier seasons, and that was good.
I've never really liked Iris.
I don't hate
She's just
her
a little.
through season 4, but after season 4, she just gets so dull. Like they just make her into a plot device instead of a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked Iris from Earth 2. I want to say it was.
The one that was married to the dork.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, I want that badass Iris back.
And speaking of the Flash, we got new casting, and it is, it's so good. So they're casting Justice Smith as Bart Allen, as Impulse, and presumably that means they're going to bring Max Mercury in too. He will make his debut in the 150th episode of the show, which will be season 7, episode 17. So we're still a ways away, but I love Bart Allen. Impulse is one of my favorite speedsters in the comics, and I think Justice Smith is going to do amazing at it. I love him as an actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to think of what I've seen him in, but I know that I've seen him in a lot. I've seen him in All the Bright Places, which I just watched a couple days ago. Don't watch that alone, or you will be sitting there crying for hours.
Watch it alone. Got it.
No, it's not scary. It's sad. It's so sad.
It's depressing.
It's depressing. It's good though.
Ari,
Well,
do you
we'll
just
see.
want to have a mental breakdown?
Yes.
It's okay. We
Yeah.
all need a good
Highlight
cry
of my
sometimes.
day.
Then watch All the Bright Places, or even better, read the book and cry for a week. Like
No, not the book. We
Yeah.
don't need to relive that.
the book was. Oh my
I still
god,
remember.
so
Oh,
hard
Yeller.
to read that book, but I loved it. I love Justice Smith. He's a great actor. I'm excited to see him do this. I was surprised by it. I was surprised that they're doing that character because I know that they're probably going to do him in the Flashpoint movie. I was surprised that they let them do both. I fully expect Grant Gustin to make an appearance in the upcoming Flashpoint movie after Ezra Miller was in Crisis. I think they have to pay that off because that was a world-shattering crossover for them to do, to bring the movies and the TV shows together in one scene was insane. They have to pay that off. If they don't, I will be very disappointed. I suspect it was set up for Flashpoint movie. I hope it was. DC, also other DC news. DC has confirmed that the Batman, Robert Pattinson's movie, takes place on the same Earth as Stargirl, the TV show. No idea why. If you had to pick the 2 most different DC projects, Robert Pattinson's Grizzly R-rated The Batman and Stargirl. I want a
Cute.
crossover so much. Those 2 characters interacting with each other would be fantastic. Titans is also on Earth 2. That is that same universe. But maybe
No,
not
I
after
still
Crisis.
haven't watched that.
Maybe it is after Crisis. Crisis didn't really show how they dealt with Titans because they put Titans in Crisis on Infinite Earths. They put Titans in the Arrowverse. But Titans has a Batman. Formerly, it was on Earth 2. Now, probably not, since Titans has a Batman. They have... I cannot remember the
I kind
actor,
of just like...
but he was not very good. I'm hoping they replace him with Robert Pattinson, and they just say, yeah, that's what's happening. And that they make
I
this
kind of
big-
just... you're hurting my brain because that's kind of completely different from how I had all my different Earths planned out. But
Is it?
that does
Crisis
little,
screwed
yeah.
everything up. I just don't remember what happened after Crisis because that was such an.
seriously.
I also
Why did they have to do that?
Crisis. I have very bitter memories of Crisis because episode 1 aired badly in South Florida. You couldn't watch it because there was no sound, and it was not my TV. It was trending on Twitter. There was no sound in all of one studio, the studio where the CW's channel 39 on DirecTV. Got no sound.
Wow.
It got the music.
That's how
It
I
got
watched
music and
it.
sound effects. It had all the explosions. It had all the sound. It did not have the dialogue. I watched
The
like 2 minutes of it and I was
You
like,
should
oh,
have turned on subtitles.
no, there was no way I was not going to watch that the right way. I turned it off and I watched it 2 hours on the.
This is what I did. I just turned on subtitles.
I
don't
love
want to have to
Crisis,
read
though.
subtitles. That's why I learned Japanese.
No, see, from watching subbed animes, I just learned to not be able to watch a show without subtitles. I literally cannot, even if they don't line up. My ADHD is just like, no.
But yeah, Crisis was great, but also terrible, and I have no idea what the DC universe looks like.
Just
Don't-
stop
I
trying.
don't think Warner Brothers has any idea what the DC
They're
universe
ruining
looks like.
it. Everything's coming downhill now.
They're gonna reset it with the Flashpoint movie, hopefully.
They better.
And lastly, not Stargirl, Supergirl aired a new episode this week, season 6, episode 1.
Mm.
Oh, it was so bad.
Just-
I
What
got
do you
a lot of
expect from Supergirl?
I got a lot of hate on Twitter for saying, I tweeted out, this episode reminded me how much I hate Supergirl. And everyone was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're a feminist, you're a terrible person, it's girl power. I was like, that has nothing to do with it. I just genuinely think this is one of the worst written shows on television.
It
Sounds
really
like some
is.
The
feminist thing.
CGI,
What? A feminist what?
That sounds like a feminist thing.
Excuse me, you got something to say? Huh? Square up.
Like girl power.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Telling
Yeah,
your husband
no,
to square
no.
up.
No, square up.
You want to fight?
Yeah, who's taller now?
It's gonna be me.
God,
That's what I thought.
yeah.
yeah,
Super
the
real.
CGI was terrible. The CGI looked like something out of the Star Trek movie from 1979.
Oh God.
Wow.
I seriously think they're
I-
losing funding.
I
No
Probably.
one's watching it.
I strongly urge you guys to go watch the first 5 minutes of this episode. Just to
No.
laugh at it.
I
Torture
stopped
us.
watching
watch it.
Supergirl after
I'll
season
take, I'll
2.
take that
You're a
challenge.
mess.
I'll take that challenge.
Yeah, that's something that you should never watch alone because it will just actually drive you insane because you'll think, how does Batwoman have such good visual effects and art and design, and then Supergirl has Godzilla
Because
with its giant iguana.
Batwoman has more like writing, is better written, has more
So
story.
much better written.
Are there better backstory or something? It's really pretty much comes down to the writers and directors, I think. So I don't
Well,
know.
they had the right
say much about it.
idea. They had the right idea with Supergirl. Just the execution was wrong.
Supergirl season 1 on CBS was one of my favorite
It was
shows.
It was great. Seasons 1 and 2 was fantastic.
Yeah, Jeremy
After
Jordan,
that, it just went.
Chris Wood as Mon-El was great. Cat Grant should never have left. Very disappointed about that.
I loved Cat Grant.
It just went so downhill when Chris Wood left.
Hmm.
Actually, even when he was there, season 3 was still pretty bad.
Season 3 was when I decided let's not.
Yeah, I kept going because I hate watching crossovers and not knowing every single thing that's going on. Plus,
I would only go to the crossover episode.
oh, okay, that's fair.
So
John
that's what I
Cryer
did.
is still absolutely killing it as Lex Luthor. He is the best Lex Luthor that I've seen. I am a big Michael Rosebaum fan. You will never hear me say a bad word about Jesse Eisenberg, but John Cryer is just killing it as Lex Luthor on Supergirl, which is such a shame because everything else is so terrible. You put that Lex
He's wasted
Luthor,
there.
yeah. They have another Luthor in Superman and Lois, Captain Luthor, who I stopped watching that, so I have no idea.
Yeah, didn't you say that was awful?
It was awful. I stopped watching it after episode 3. I'm done. Can't take it.
Does anyone remember Smallville?
Everyone remembers Smallville, fam.
Yeah, you can't forget Smallville. Smallville is great. Their Lex Luthor is
Mhm.
great. The only bad thing about Smallville was their Superman. Everything else was cool. I just didn't like Tom Welling.
I
But
liked him.
I didn't hate him. I just thought everything else was so good about it, through like season 5. As with every show, once it gets going, it dies off.
Yeah.
It was good. I I know this is not technically superhero or comic book related, but I started watching that new CBS show, Clarice, which is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs, which is basically an honorary comic book movie, even though it isn't quite, it just has the tone of one. It is so good. I love Silence of the Lambs. I loved NBC's Hannibal
Yeah,
show.
me too.
Clarice is absolutely a part of that universe, in my opinion. It is.
I love anything horror movie related.
Mhm. Yeah, same here.
Then
I
there's me who can barely get through American Horror Story.
No, because like when
I
I'm at
still-
work and I'm alone, like because I work completely alone.
Mhm.
So it's nice because I can just bring my speaker and my tablet and watch horror movies all night. No one's telling me to shut it off because they're scared, and I enjoy myself.
Nice.
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
you little scaredy cat.
Yeah, check out Clarice on CBS. I think it's 3 episodes in now. I've only watched the first one, but I liked it quite a lot. It's
Nice.
super scary still, though. In the opposite of superhero news, March Madness is ending tonight. Do you guys know
Do we
that
need
at
to
all?
talk sports?
Okay,
Do we
stay away
need to
from
talk?
sports. I was just
Yeah,
wondering. if
I
you-
don't know
Why?
anything about it. I
Okay.
know how to
We
kick a
can talk-
soccer
All right,
ball.
pick a sport then.
I know how to
Okay.
kick a
Volleyball.
soccer ball.
Which one?
She
Volleyball.
said. She said
I
volleyball.
play volleyball,
Volleyball's fine.
so
I can kick a soccer
basketball's
ball.
not. Oh, good
Tonight's
job. You can hit a
championship
ball
game
with your foot.
is
Yeah.
going to be fantastic. I highly recommend you guys go watch it, even if you don't know anything about it, just to laugh at it. And because it's a massive,
I'm-
massive event, you can almost certainly expect a trailer for something during halftime. Probably DC because it's on CBS, not ABC, so it's probably not Marvel. I would say Titans season 3 is a real possibility for a trailer there, since we're getting close to that coming out.
Season 3.
Yeah, season 3.
Wait,
Titans
what have I missed?
season 2.
I didn't watch the movie.
Oh, Titans.
I did not watch the movie because I saw the Starfire had bad clothing. And
Oh, it's not a
I-
movie. It's a TV show.
The
It's a
TV
series.
show Titans.
Oh, it's a TV.
I
Yeah.
thought you were the big Teen Titans fan here.
I am, but I stayed far away
Yeah.
from anything live action.
Oh, you have to watch it. I'm
I
binging it now.
literally blocked accounts that were showing it because I was so annoyed.
No, I'm gonna tell you what, she saw the trailer for the first season and she didn't like what they had in store. So
Yeah,
she's
Anna
just
Diop.
stopped.
is-
Even
Anna
trying.
Diop as Starfire is a revelation. She is so good at it, but she is dressed like a cheap hooker.
She needs better clothing.
She's getting better clothing in season 3. Finally.
That's a
She's
good
getting-
thing. That needs to happen.
getting
Then
the
I
comics
might
faster.
try to steel myself and see if I can enjoy it.
See,
But I'm just
episode-
so attached to the original Teen Titans that I just
Okay,
in the comics.
their
that
Raven
I'm
is
just like,
bad. Their Raven is good.
yeah, Raven is supposed to
Don't
not supposed to be
ruin
an
Raven.
emo.
Brendan Thwaites
She's not supposed to
as
be become
Dick,
emo
and
kid.
then Curran Walters as Jason are so good together. The two of them interacting, and Dick Grayson as Nightwing, not quite as Robin, and then Jason Todd is Robin. Something's gonna happen to him real soon. I'm almost done with season 2. I am expecting him to become Red Hood in season 3. With what I'm seeing from him, he's getting violent. He's getting dark. I'm expecting him to put on the big red hood, and I know Tim Drake is coming in season 3, so I might have to stop watching. I am
I'll have
absolutely-
to steel myself then, but
Oh,
still, I
okay,
just
since
can't
you're-
stand the look.
You know your Robins. I'm assuming if you know the comics. I just-
Slightly.
I hate Tim Drake. I despise him so much.
That's interesting because I have a friend that like everything is Tim Drake, everything. She doesn't seem to like any other Robin. I'm like,
Get her on here, and
I'm
I
still
will
stuck
debate
on
her.
Dick Grayson.
I will debate Tim Drake with her if you get her on. I think he's just one of the worst written characters. I hated them killing Jason Todd. I was too young to read it live. Obviously, it was like 2005. I would have been 2, but I did a binge of the entire DC universe because I felt like I had to, and I was super bored. So I read the whole thing. I read everything that was worth reading. them killing Jason Todd, I was so mad. And then they were just like, here's Dollar Store. Here's Dollar Store Jason Todd. His name's Tim. He's bald and he's super annoying. You have to love him. And Jason Todd is never coming back. And then they eventually did bring him back as the Red Hood, which was great. Almost made it worth him dying. But I hate Tim. And I love Damien too. Unless you guys got anything else, I think that is probably pretty good
The
for
Loki trailer.
Yeah, we never
Loki.
got to
Yeah,
the
crap,
Loki.
the trailers.
It's
So
one of
many
my favorite.
We have to go through those. Let's go in the order of which they came out, which means we will start with The Suicide Squad, trailer 2.
Yes.
I didn't like it nearly as much as the first trailer.
Yeah,
It was
I like
more
the comedy.
serious.
It was more serious. There was no Steely Dan, which is always a mistake.
Isn't Suicide Squad supposed to be a little bit more serious?
This trailer was a lot more serious.
Well, it's James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy movies and a bunch of other stuff. He's got his Evil Dead movies coming out. His version of that is coming out real soon with Dave Bautista for some reason. He's a serious director who puts comedy in at the absolute worst moments, which makes it good. I expect this movie to be hilarious and also very violent. What did we think of trailer?
I just expect it to be just violent all the way
Well,
through.
yeah.
That's it. No, I don't care. Humor, sometimes, but in violent shows like that, I wouldn't expect much comedy in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge James Gunn fan. You know that I have to love a person for me to say that their DC movie is my most anticipated movie of the year when we're getting 4 new Marvel movies in the same amount of time. But I am more excited for Suicide Squad than any of the Marvel movies, except maybe Spider-Man No Way Home has to match it a little bit just because I'm such an Andrew Garfield fan. But I think the Suicide Squad has the potential to be the best DC movie other than Zack Snyder's Justice League. Rip.
Yeah.
We're never getting more of those, which sucks.
That's upsetting.
But I think this has
But
serious potential. Yeah, go ahead.
it was serious, and I think that's why I like it. I don't like comedy movies.
Are you even a person?
No. Yes, but no. I just don't like comedy movies.
So much better than most movies.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm sorry. They're not.
Shame
grew
on you and shame on your cow.
Okay, you know what? Did you just make a Mulan reference?
Yes, I did. With no shame either. If you start laughing, I will break you. Damn it.
But no, I don't like comedy. I don't mind comedy in serious movies, but still. Yeah. I can't.
Well, there
I
are
don't know.
so many follow-up questions to that. But
We can talk about those later.
But I am less excited by this trailer. I mean, it was the Green Band trailer, and the Red Band trailer was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Green Band trailer is never going to be as good. I was so surprised they dropped 2 trailers in the span of like 4 days. That was weird because there's been like no marketing
Isn't it?
at all, and now it's at the forefront of every single person's mind.
Isn't it coming out soon though?
August 6th. So we still got some time.
Oh,
Yeah.
then why so many trailers?
I
Hyping it up.
Are they just gonna hype it up and then just drop off the face of the planet?
Mhm.
Probably.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It is
DC hasn't
DC.
had any other good strategies. Why should their marketing strategy be good?
Right.
Black Widow dropped a new trailer. Far and away the
It's
best trailer
not-
of this movie.
I love it.
No idea.
I
what-
love her white suit.
I have no idea what
Yeah.
this movie's going to be. I have no idea when it takes place. I have no idea whether it's going to be good or not. All I know is the Taskmaster looks ridiculous, and the rest of the movie looks good. I've never been the biggest Black Widow fan. I think Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
is
I
fantastic.
love her.
Yeah, I
think
do
Black Widow is
too.
great. I just don't love the character. I've never been
enough.
high on the way that they've just massively like had all of her costumes and had her be a love interest for all of these different characters instead of being her own hero. It looks like finally she's going to get the spotlight.
Yeah.
I think this movie should have been a trilogy. I think she absolutely deserves her own trilogy, much more than
You think
all
she's
the
gonna
people
get
who
one?
did it. No, because she's dead. Unless they bring her back somehow, but I would be surprised if they do that. I like the trailer though.
She's one of,
The white suit. I know, Ari, you were just about to talk about that.
Yeah, I just love that. I like her old suit, but I love this one too. This one,
Mhm.
like, it makes her almost. That would be interesting though if they did bring her back in the white suit, like almost like an angel type thing. Like
Mhm.
whenever
Anti-vax
a
suit,
character's
yeah.
dead, they usually come back in white if they're brought back. Like they have like a whole. Yeah, it's a trope in a lot of
Watch.
different films.
watch like Red
Like
Skull
Christianity.
bring her back. Did you just make a religious joke?
Yes, I said and Christianity.
Let's not.
It was easy. Yes, we don't.
Very true, very true, very true.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope they don't bring her back. I think deaths should have to stand in the MCU, otherwise no one's gonna believe them. But
How many times have they brought Loki back?
like 1,000, but that's different. That's Loki.
That's Loki.
They kill Loki. Try it.
It's Loki. Why can't we have it for Black Widow, the only semi-well-written character in the Marvel universe?
Yeah, because everyone else is perfectly written.
That's a big statement to make.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is my opinion.
Well, no, I agree with her. I think that Black Widow is the only semi-well-written character. Everyone else is very well-written.
I said well-written female character.
Oh,
Ah,
female
there
character.
you
Yes,
go.
okay, definitely.
Except I still like Wanda.
Wanda's great now. Now that she got her.
Wanda
own
is
show, it's
fantastic now that
really
she's had
badass.
WandaVision. But without
Yeah.
WandaVision, she was kind of just thrown in there.
Yeah, and she didn't get any time to really evolve, and this gave her the time she needed to evolve.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it gave us Agatha Harkness, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So the Loki trailer. Oh my God.
So much to unpack there.
So much going on.
I love anything with Loki.
We
It's about
So
time,
true.
really.
Yeah, that needed to happen.
Yep. So
The
this
logo sucks.
logo is fine. The logo
It's
is
terrible.
worse than
It's
the
a
logo
bit
for
big.
WandaVision.
I mean, he
It's-
thinks big of himself, so why
True.
not?
They're
True.
so, the letters are so blocky. Like,
It's Loki. Mischief.
I know, but mischief is correlated with a
Loki
snake,
would
and a
want
snake
his
is
logo to be
slither.
made in Microsoft Word's word art. He wouldn't want it any other way.
What is it?
That's so
He-
true.
Say what you're saying.
Oh,
What were you
um,
gonna say?
Well, he is a prankster, so obviously
Yeah.
his letters should be weird and blocky. It's not supposed to be like something really good,
Like if he's directing his own movie.
right?
I feel like a
If
movie
he directed his
by Loki
own
would
movie,
be
it would be so egotistical,
I
but
feel like a
trash.
Suicide Squad movie directed by Loki would be very good.
Oh God.
Truth. No, a Deadpool movie written by
Yes,
Loki.
yes, a Deadpool.
That would be
movie
them
directed by Loki.
together. I want to see them together.
I want to see
Yes.
a Deadpool movie so badly. I love a lot.
That
of
too.
My all-time.
would be
favorite
so
comic run is
sweet.
2015 Spider-Man and Deadpool. 40 issues.
Yes.
Light-
You got Mephisto
I know
in
it's because
there.
the sun's going down.
Oh, it's so good. Such a good run. But so we'll start at the beginning. Loki, this is the Loki from 2012, from the Avengers Endgame time heist, who stole the Tesseract after Hulk had to take the stairs. So this Loki is not the Loki who is good again. This Loki is Loki who has just come out of Thanos' mind control-ish. It wasn't mind control, it was like mind persuasion.
Is he in the Mind Stone?
Yeah, it was from the Mind Stone because of the staff and all that.
Yeah,
Just
so
made
sadly I
Loki
never
evil.
actually seen Endgame.
My brother though would know everything about Endgame that there is to know. So if you ever want to
You've
go
got
over
so many
that,
people.
I could.
You got to bring these people onto the show. I have no Marvel friends. Everyone you
Robin
know.
would love to.
Yes,
His
star.
name is Robin.
Robin knows.
That's a little ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
knows
he would-
Marvel.
He would love to, honestly, if
Yeah,
we
get
ever
him
go
on
over
here.
that.
I've got one Marvel friend who I am hoping to bring on at some point. But other than that, I got no one.
Yeah, he would go on
I
and on and
have-
on about the end game more than I would even like know about stuff that I even wouldn't know about.
I have a good friend who I really want to bring on, but like we need to figure out how she'd be comfortable doing it. So
Yeah, so Loki. This Loki is from 2012. He is not good guy Loki yet, but it looks like the Time Variant Authority, otherwise known as the guy from Cars with a mustache, looks like they're gonna give him his memories from the future. And it looks like they're just gonna mess with him. Like that stuff about sign that this is everything you've ever said. I think they're just there to piss Loki off. Like that's their whole
imagine
purpose in this
pissing
show.
off a god.
They're the new Agatha.
Right?
They're just there to mess with
In
him.
other words, they want him to fix his own mess.
Yeah.
That's what they want him to do.
Yep. I love him.
True.
I love Loki. I love
Are
Owen.
they are they seriously just gonna keep trying to break him down until he fixes everything he did with the Tesseract?
Yeah, God, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think it's physically possible for him to fix everything he's done with the Tesseract. That would take more than a 6-episode Disney Plus series.
Oop.
I love him. I love Loki. I think that this will be very good. I think this has the potential to be the best of the shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier is great. WandaVision was great. I expect Hawkeye. I expect Hawkeye to be great, but Loki's going to be the one that's going to knock it out of the park.
Wait, Hawkeye's getting his own TV show?
Yes, November. And it has Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop and Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. And then I can't remember who's playing Echo, but Echo's the third main character in it, and then she is getting her own show.
Oh, we did mention that. Okay.
Don't you dare.
I think the trailers. Oh, Space Jam got a new trailer.
Yeah.
Seen it.
Michael Jordan beat the Monstars with Bill Murray and the guy from Seinfeld. And LeBron James needs Superman, Gandalf, and King Kong to do it. I think that settles once and for all who is the greatest of all time debate. If Henry Cavill reprises his role as Superman in this and doesn't get a Man of Steel 2, if this is the last thing we get to see him as Superman in, I think I will just stop being a fan of DC. That would be too much. There were so many cameos in that trailer. So many Warner Brothers characters from every single member of the Justice League. All of the Looney Tunes, the Titans were there, like the good ones. Who else was there? I'd have to look it up again to see them all, but there were so many good characters in that trailer that were all had background roles. A lot of my favorite NBA players are getting roles in it as the bad guys. Klay Thompson is in it. Damian Lillard is in it. Anthony Davis is in it. And then Dana Taurasi, the White Mamba, is in it too.
Not a fan of Space Jam. It makes no sense.
Space Jam is one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
Take that.
I agree.
You
I watched it when I was a kid, when it was in VHS. I just watched it.
Yeah, see, okay.
nonstop over and
I
over.
watched it when it was on VHS at my grandma's house. Like it was our thing. We'd go over, we'd make banana bread, we eat the banana bread while watching Space Jam. But like it never made sense to me.
All it was is Joseph's debut for Looney Tunes and basketball things.
It's Michael Jordan and Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Didn't you drive by his house?
I
Yes,
don't
actually, I
watch
work
basketball.
nearby.
He works near Michael Jordan's house.
I seen his house.
That is so cool.
I
dad met him
Let's
one
just say
time.
it's massive and white and square.
Mhm.
Okay,
Michael Jordan
so that
is one of the all-time greatest people. He gives so much back to charity. For me to like a UNC player, because my parents both went to Duke, so for me to like a UNC basketball player as much as I do, he really has to be damn good. But he's great. I hope he has a cameo in this. I would be disappointed if he doesn't.
I doubt it. Actually, I doubt that he'll be making a cameo. I highly doubt that.
I
So,
hope so.
I really don't think they're gonna do that. I'm certain of it. Sadly, to spoil it ahead of time, my prediction ever comes true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be making a cameo. They might mention things back about him, but as for him actually making an actual appearance in the movie, I doubt it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the most beautifully animated movies ever made. Like the animation style in the trailer was amazing. It looked good. It looked like a fun movie.
And I'm gonna lie, it
Like it's not going to be
does
a
look like it's gonna
quality
be fun.
film, but it's going to be fun. Yeah, go ahead.
It's meant to be family anyway, so it's
Yep.
gonna be a fun movie to watch that.
All right. I think that might be it now. Am I forgetting any other major events from the week?
I don't think so.
All right then.
Besides Easter.
Oh yeah, right. Easter. Jesus was
I
born.
colored some eggs.
I grilled with my family.
Mhm. I am.
And is that why you were making Easter jokes?
Yep.
Slightly.
I missed it.
You miss everything. I'm kidding. You're okay. Oh, don't cry. Don't. It's okay. No. Don't be a gerbil. Don't be a gerbil.
Don't be a gerbil.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. If you go on Facebook and you look
That's
for
what
the
I'm calling
gerbil,
this episode. Our
Yeah.
episode should have real titles, and this one's called.
because he does this thing
The high pitched
where he
squeals.
squeaks.
Well, now you got to do it.
We're cutting this part out, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
See, I was gonna say something.
This is what our big fan likes. He likes to see this.
Don't you dare growl at me or hiss at me.
All right. Well, on that note, we will see you guys on
Our fan.
Saturday.
That's horrible.